I think S4 would play it. SF.
I don't know, man. He's usually the tempo controller for the team. He's a shot. Okay, they are gonna take it. All right.
Give it up. They should have done this against 4CL.
Okay, resolution.
I mean, it's a really good answer to the Wisp already, like getting Bane Shadow Fiend.
Let's say without putting a name on it, the best Shadow Fiend player in the world. If Alliance can play 80% of that, it's still a better first pick than what they picked against 4CL in their draft. So I think even if S4, it's not one of his best heroes or he doesn't like it that much, sometimes you gotta just, you know...
Suck it up.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you gotta suck it up, take the hero, do your best, even if you feel like, oh, this fight, I missed a raise, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Just still Shadow Fiend, just get your Requiem off and rock the team fights with a mech.
Still got like 12 CS a minute. We're good, boys.
Yeah, and with Bane set up, your Requiem is also not going to be causing too much issues in terms of getting it off on the right target.
So you said Alliance, their best combo is Tiny IO. Does that mean they're one of the best teams against it?
It doesn't mean that, but...
It definitely gives them more understanding of it.
Yeah, I'm sure they've, you know, I remember when we were practicing before Frankfurt, like Alliance just played Tiny Wisp over and over and over, and we lost it a couple times, but we beat it many times as well. And they could take a couple things from that. There's definitely ways to beat this combo. I'm a big fan of Tidehunter, actually, against Tiny Wisp.
That base damage reduction, right?
Yeah, the base damage reduction is great all game, and it just gives you so much team fight. You can take team fights whenever you want.
Alliances turn to battle.
Well, Wood Ravage is up.
Does anyone pick Dragon Knight into Tiny IO for the same reasons?
I don't think so. I think that it's pretty tough to lane. I think that like after like level 3, you can just get tossed into the tower.
Yeah, because
you can't put DK against Wisp Tiny.
10 seconds
They
remaining.
put DK Bane against with Tiny.
Yeah, I'm sure you could do that.
They want to put the Shadow Fiend mid. They really should just put the Shadow Fiend.
Turn to battle.
I think.
The Night Stalker is going to be taken out now by Alliance.
I like this starter ban a lot. Not for the off lane, but actually for the safe lane of Alliance. Because if they play S4 Shadow Fiend mid, they don't have to play load on a hard carry. And his best non-hard carry in Dota is actually Slaughter. I think it's his best hero overall, in my opinion. It's also good against IO Tiny to an extent. Amplify damage on Tiny makes him pretty squishy after all. Sometimes you can get a Blink Crush. When they relocate in, they're close together. You can completely disrupt their engage. There's the Night Stalker ban that PBD was talking about, so they play safe with that. I like Disruptor as an option. You mentioned that.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Bulldog's gonna play.
The Beastmasters?
Not awesome against Wisp Tiny, but
like a good counter pick?
Yeah, it's okay.
Undying and Queen of Pain are both still in the pool.
Is there any chance he maybe goes back for something like that for Bulldog?
I mean,
Don't you just get...
It's so bad against Wisp, I think.
Craggied as well. 25%.
Oh yeah, you can blink in and get Craggy.
Yeah, 25% of your last house miss.
Man, that's actually really annoying that it works that way.
I think that mechanic should just get changed the same way that return.
Chance he maybe goes back
for example, for Centaur got changed so it procs when you get hit and not when you start the attack. Like, I mean, it's fun sometimes with the Craggy, but sometimes it just decides to for the Tiny, right? For the viewers, like sometimes it makes some epic
nose miss.
Man, that's actually really annoying.
Moments, right, where you just get lucky, but. From a fairness perspective, I think that mechanic is kind of dumb.
That happened to no one yesterday, right? Playing Ember, he like
yeah, he blinked in and then he got Craggied before he got anything off.
Like a one shot or something like that.
He probably didn't need auto attack. He probably just had auto attack on like after spell.
Yeah.
Came out of Slight, just like walked to Tiny, boom, stun, one shot.
Can't do anything about it.
That Pycat Tiny was crazy yesterday.
Yeah.
So fast. He's been playing amazing, actually.
Would you say this is going to be a resolution Tiny then?
Yes.
Yeah.
What would you like to see Silent play as a dual core?
I don't think it's a half bad Juggernaut game.
5 seconds remaining.
It's a little bit tricky against Bane. I think the hero is really good against Disruptor. You can just spin the Glimpse. You can get out of kinetic field. He's pretty good at killing Shadow Fiend.
It's amazing with IO, the healing ward combination.
Exactly. That was the last thing I was going to mention. The healing ward too. There's some good synergy. They're also Dire. He's pretty good at taking Roche. They could also look toward their TA maybe in this game, but there's some decent counter picks on Alliance.
I mean, if you pick TA, you just put the Tiny IO safe lane, I guess?
Yeah, you could do that.
Do you ever send Shadow Fiend to the safe lane? Like, ever? Like, I think I've seen it.
I mean, you can do it.
It's possible.
Hey, in terms of trying out new things or switching things up, Funnick used to be a super amazing IO player, right?
True.
Yeah.
Can they throw curveball somehow and make a lower dance do something with the core? Because a lower dance knows how to use farm as well. Or is that too far-fetched?
I'm thinking... They kind of have to do a dual lane off lane here with their Witch Doctor pick. I think I was considering putting Funning on the safe lane with something like a Clinks, but it's not that good of a pick here. And in addition to that, it's going to mess up their laning too much, I think.
Silent plays Clinks as well. It's
That's true.
Not too bad this game.
10 seconds remaining.
I miss the days of the Empire Lycan. I used to run like Lycan
5
DK
seconds
every single
remaining.
game.
Do you
Lycan.
really like to see Lycan DK though?
I think Lycan's good against Jug and SF in some cases. Not so good against Bane,
Reserve
but
time.
Or Disruptor.
yeah. But I think the core matchup is good for him, not the support one.
Looking at Alliance's team now, what offlaner could you get that would let you group up and push like super early? Like that gives you a bit of extra push. Like there's Nature's Prophet, but I guess it's not so good against TinyIO.
Nature's Prophet, Beastmaster. They have enough push with like SF Jug. They don't
They don't
need
need
to have like
any
a
more?
pushy hero. You could, I mean,
Beastmaster is really good against what's Tiny though, right?
I'm still okay with Tidehunter somewhere.
Tide is really good, actually. I think it's
10
might be the
seconds
best pick.
remaining.
Especially since they pick Jug themselves, which means that the Empire safe laner is not
5
going to be able to
seconds
kill
remaining.
Tidehunter that easily.
Is Naga just a dead hero?
Okay.
Alliances
Interesting.
turn to
Naga,
bear.
like
Yeah.
Naga, like support carry.
Regardless, like I haven't seen the hero at all for a long time.
It's been nerfed over and over, but I think he's probably still viable.
I'm just thinking against, for example, a lineup like Empires. You have so much to combo it with. You have
10
Requiem, you have Static Storm that you can set up Kinetic Field together with Song of the Siren. It counters Relocate really well.
5
You could play that in the...
seconds remaining.
I'm not expecting them to do it. I just wanted to discuss it.
Yeah, no,
I'll
I
play
think
Naga
it
Kid.
could be good with Disruptor
Reserve time.
and Shadow Fiend, of course. That seems fine.
This Axe pick is a little bit of a curveball from Empire, though. They're going to go maybe dual lane aggressive, Witch Doctor Axe into Jugger,
Yeah.
Disruptor Bane.
That's spooky.
If they
That
trial it,
seems
if Alliance
very
trial
risky.
this,
But
this is
doesn't Bane
really
have
good.
to stay mid to help the Shadow Fiend though?
That's-
So
Yeah.
It's possible. Shadow Fiend is an interesting hero. He can kind of handle this Tiny Wisp lane depending on how the first two waves go for like a little bit. Until like Tiny is like level 4 or 5, it's
Just
a
spamming.
bit harder for him to really kill the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend's gonna be on his own Radiant Hill. He has like a decent block, gets a couple CS, get a couple souls up, he should be fine.
I'm gonna go a bit out of the world here, right? What about Enigma for Alliance?
Bulldog Enigma.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
it could
okay.
be fine.
10
I actually don't know what they're
seconds
gonna pick. I think Clockwork is a possibility if it doesn't get banned here. Beastmaster ban.
Give them AoE for the
Alliances turn
relocate.
to pick.
Phoenix.
Oh.
Alright.
Team
no thought needed for that
Empires
one.
turn to
The
pick.
main, I love this hero. The main problem for them is that they don't have that good setup for Supernova. And Empire, I guess Empire's attack speeds aren't that high against the egg. They have
What about
Tiny
the
with
kinetic
overcharge.
field?
Kinetic field is so unreliable to catch multiplayers. I mean, if you do it, by all
They
means,
just
that's
Fiend
incredible.
script
But
the
I feel like
Nightmare one,
Alliance.
Fuse Script the other.
But think of how much of a deterrent the hero is to actually fight into for Empire. Like, who on this team buys early BKB, right? Like, they can just go up to towers with Healing Ward, Phoenix sitting behind them, Spirits, and Egg keeps them
5
back.
seconds
Like, how can they fight that?
that's what I was thinking too. Like
Yeah.
they could just hit the towers with Jug and Shadow Fiend, and then if Empire decides to jump in, or, relocate, Axe jumps in with the call, and then Phoenix just eggs, and they should be fine.
It is a Viper.
yeah, as long as Empire take the fight to them, if they can force them to engage into them, it's a good counterplay. But they don't really have good setup to make the aggressive first move,
Well,
apart from pushing towers.
It's not always
Maybe
about
enough.
just having catch, though, right? It's about, like, getting the objectives for Alliance. We talked about how
Absolutely.
earlier they couldn't do it. Just, like, push in with Ward, use the Phoenix to deter Empire. I actually like their draft quite a bit.
PPD, who came ahead in the draft, you feel?
I'll go with Alliance. I think I like the Shadow Fiend Bane opener a lot.
Okay, in that case, what do we need to look out for Team Empire to be able to end this game in a win?
I think Silent needs to crush the Phoenix. That's the main thing I'm looking out for.
Mid lane will be a little exciting too.
Yeah.
To see who wins that Wisp Tiny or the Shadow Fiend Bane.
Okay, it is time to watch out for that mid lane. It is Empire taking on Alliance, Luminous, and Odie Pixel. Take it away.
Hello indeed, I'm OD Pixel and I'm here with Lumi on the casting desk and we're ready to take you guys through the series Alliance versus Empire. Of course, this is the lower stage. The loser will be going home from this LAN. And Lumi, we've had both 2-0s against either of these sides so far in the series today. Is this going to be one that goes to game 3? And in your eyes, who's got the stronger draft here in game 1?
Oh, the panel seems to like the Alliance draft, and I do have to agree. But one thing that they do have to watch out for is can this Axe go ham? You know, CIS hero, if he gets a couple of dunks early, get a quick blink dagger, it doesn't matter how good your group up is if Funnick is running through your ranks, killing your supports one by another. The other question is Alliance back? And does the Alliance crowd have their back? I mean, we are here at DreamHack Winter. The crowd is like dead. Nobody's saying anything.
There we go.
Can we get some Alliance? There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
And that wasn't even the CSGO crowd.
There you go.
A bit of a reaction there, and well, let's see if Alliance can feel it behind them. Empire, though, we saw the other day how well these guys can play. They were able to take down Vega, one of the teams that a lot of people thought would do very well at this LAN in a very, very convincing fashion, 2-0. Let's see if Alliance are ready to go up against them. Oh, Funnick. He's going to be able to take the rune there away from S4. And first blood, there we have it. Okay, Tiny Eye, pretty good combo, Lumi.
Yeah, I think he went for the Phoenix side for the rune still. Maybe mistimed a little bit. And just got picked up.
All right, I mean, this mid lane, Resolution on his Tiny, backed up by Lower Dance on the Eye. They are going to have AK on the Bane, and of course that is a very strong hero to have in the mid lane when you're trying to contest the farm for your mid laners.
Yeah, definitely is. That's a lane that the panel really want to see how it go. Who's going to win the lane. One thing to look out for is Aloha Dance is going to be stacking the jungle quite a bit. That's what really Alliance had a ton of trouble with when 4CL did this Wisp stacking. So we'll see if Alliance is going to contest it a little bit more this game. Oh.
Toss, just throwing back S4. And it is going to be interesting to see how well Alliance do this, because we were talking about the Shadow Fiend in Alliance in the early series, and it isn't one of the heroes that people remember S4 for.
He definitely played it on Secret from time to time, so it's not to say that he can't play it. It's just, I think the team functions much better when he's playing more of the tempo controller, the Queen of Pain, the Bat Rider, and whatnot. So for now, he is going to get one of the most imbalanced hero of this patch. We'll see if Alliance going to get their own jungle stacked.
Bottom lane, Funnick and No Fear position themselves rather aggressively, just contesting this pull through that Nuts was going for. I'm trying to see what they can find. And mid lane, okay, they get themselves another kill. A Tiny IO doing it again. And a minute and a half in, Alliance not dealing too well with this pairing.
It's very scary when Tiny gets to ramp up his experience through kills like that. Early on the Phoenix, now on the Shadow Fiend. And that should be fine. He should, run to his tower.
Funnick couldn't quite get close enough there for the call.
The creep skipping is going to cut down on Loda's regen as he has to basically tank the whole creep wave. I mean, essentially Funnick's doing the same thing, but he kills the creep so much faster. And Nuts is well, losing a ton of health as he is also tanking under the tower. I imagine we're going to see a dive somewhere down the road here for Funnick.
I was going to say, this looks like a very scary lane for Alliance on this bottom lane. Anytime that they see an opening Empire, they're going to be ready to wrap around and get in with the call and the paralyzing cast. Mid lane, the farm, 7 for 2 at the moment on S4. 6 for 1 on Resolution, so even though he lost his life, still managing to get an equal amount of farm here to this Tiny.
Yeah. The other lane that's going very poorly for Alliance right now is the Viper versus Phoenix matchup. I mean, Phoenix doesn't have nearly the kind of good base damage to compete, and of course, Toxin plus Corrosive Skin is giving Admiral Bulldog a ton of tough time.
Bottom lane as well. Loda's trying to move in onto No Fear. He's actually going to go for this one with the Blade Fury. No Fear duking it out, but the Berserker's cool, of course, going for the Magic Immunity, holding Loda in place. Kinetic Field is there, so Loda can back himself out, but the Paralyzing Cast gets thrown out. Now Loda kind of stuck in the trees. Funnick's there with a wraparound, trying to find him, but Loda does get the jukes out. We're going to see Cool come back online in 4 seconds if they can get close enough, but looks like Loda will have the speed there to get himself away. And well, just escaping from what could have been a bit of a sticky situation.
Mid lane looks like we're going to see a toss back. Yeah. And, well, nice Nightmare coming out, but all right, looks like SVR is going to be fine. The ball is being blocked by Ake. All right, pretty good job. Bottom lane, the dive is not happening.
So much pressure being put on here by Funnick and No Fear. They got the start that they've wanted. They have got these levels on the axe, so they can afford to do this. Just constantly cutting the wave. I mean, if you're Alliance, what do you do in reaction to this? How do you play around it?
I think you need to begin to secure your Shadow Fiend's farm through the stacking. Because right now you're losing every single lane. Bottom lane is losing, mid is losing, top is losing. And once Relocate or Blink Dagger comes online for Empire, they're going to just go. So you need to secure a quick mech on Alliance to be able to fight your way back. Now, Phoenix could be the mech buyer, although Phoenix likely to get something like Tranquil into Midas. So you look towards your Shadow Fiend to have a strong early game. And right now, he's not having the best of time.
I mean, you're talking about, the Phoenix's build as well. He's almost certainly going to have to find himself involved in kills because The farm is just not there. You mentioned it earlier, just having to try and CS against a Viper. It's not happening. 25 for 14 on Silent compared to the 5 for 0 on Bulldog's Phoenix.
Yep. And they are doing the stacking, but unfortunately, No Fear stealing a bit of
the XP, yeah.
I mean, the Go is the bigger... Well, both is important because S4 is not hitting that level 5. The level 3 raises is where you start getting a lot of killing potential and whatnot. And No Fear is still stalking him in the jungle. This is a pretty big win here for Team Empire.
Getting as much as they can and taking it away from Alliance. No, S4 might realize that he was being blocked there. No Fears in Visrin is... Oh, no, he's not going to go for the Curry Snipe.
Well, it's slowed down right now. But I guess
would have probably paid with his life, I'd imagine. He keeps it safe, gets himself out. Meanwhile, bottom lane, you know, Funnick, he's having a great time down here, and he's going to get a very good timing on the level 6. It's going to be next wave.
Because he's having such a good start, he might even consider upgrading into a Vanguard before going into a Blink Dagger. It depends on how he sees this game progressing. Although, the fact that he upgraded into a Poor Man's Shield may lead to just a straight-up Blink Rush.
Yeah, I mean, the Poor Man's and that Ring of Health. Nuts. Okay, just giving them walk in. Battlinger's going to get dropped.
He could have Berserker called him there, but there was no creep wave attacking, so the spin chance is quite low.
He would have had to be super lucky with the one hero attacking RNG. But at the moment, it really feels like Empire, they've got the grip on this game that they wanted to have just at this 5-minute mark.
And unfortunately for Alliance, they don't really have a plan B because, I mean, you could technically rotate the Phoenix for the gank. Bottom lane, the call's going to be there.
They've got the call, the cast coming through as well. Nuts did drop the kinetic field, but the dunks there from Funnick. They'll take one. Bulldog has come in with a rotation now with the Blade Fury as well. They look to find No Fear and they will find the return kill. Ake's down there, but it's a double kill for Funnick. And it's trying to move forward for more. They will hold him back with the Nightmare. But Funnick making the dunks happen as soon as he gets that level 6 online. And this really feels like the kind of the calm before the storm. And it's not even that calm at that because Funnick has the potential to get out of control. 6 minutes in, 1,300 gold on the axe.
I would say he's already out of control. Looks like we're going to see a little bit of go here on Nuts.
Funnick.
But who's going on who right now? Nuts is trying to run towards the tower. He makes it there. He's fighting 3 heroes.
Creeps. Look at the creeps hitting Funnick as well. He's going to be happy if he gets a call, and he does. He gets the call off onto Ake. He needs a spin. He's going to get it. There's the dunk. He's another kill for Funnick. All these heroes in Alliance have come down and they're trying to do it, but a double kill. He gets away with 2. It does force the rotation out from S4, and they will kill him. But Funnick just creating so much havoc. 4 kills, 1,800 gold. We're not even hitting the 7-minute mark.
I wonder if he had enough gold if he had the Blink Dagger and Quick Buy.
Nah,
maybe he
I
would
think it would have been maybe 2,100 at that point,
remember what I said earlier, you know, Alliance might have the better draft. They have definitely the stronger mid-game sieging, but it doesn't matter when you have an axe that's so big at this stage of the game. So let's say he finished the Blink Dagger within 1 or 2 minutes. He just starts skanking your Shadow Fiend non-stop. Like, where's your mech? Where's your BKB? You know, you won't be able to get that farm, so... actually, he goes back to finishing his Tranquils. This is a very interesting choice.
I mean, I guess at this point... Wow.
And Vanguard.
Okay, Loader with the Omni Slash just managed to find himself a kill onto No Fear. Caught out of position. Resolution. Analo does coming in with a toss combo there. Ooh, no, with the brain stab. Okay, keeps himself alive. He's actually going to get himself out the Nightmare. But no, yeah, the Spirits indeed flying around. Will find it. They may lose Eye on return, so it's a 1-for-1. Resolution trying to move forward, trying to find Bulldog. He has got a toss available if he can find him in the tree line. At the same time, Funnick got a kill onto Loader on the bottom lane. So another kill for this axe. There'll be the TP out here from Resolution, and that is going to be Funnick. So he does actually finish off the Vanguard on top of the Poor Man's Shield. Vanguard, Poor Man's Shield, Tranquil Boots. This man is not dying.
And Tranquils.
Tranquils, yeah.
The +4 armor, pretty big part of this tower diving and tanking essentially everything. I guess he's saying, you know what, we're going to put pressure on you simply by running at you. We might not have as good killing potential, but there's no way that Funnick is going to be dying again.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is 8 minutes in, and he's found 5 kills without a Blink Dagger. Sure. He's just saying, yeah, we could just run at you.
He might find more here. As,
with No Fear. Coming across, Nuts gets himself... Nuts already contemplating offering himself up to Roshan as they're all coming in, and Nuts... Is he going to be able to do this one? The toss is there. Roshan, please, no. Is it going to happen? No Fear takes the kill. And Empire now sitting 9-for-4. The just kind of chaoticness of this early game really suiting the side of Empire.
Yeah, the comeback that they should be looking for is somehow getting a kill on Axe, which is going to be tough because he has the Vanguard, Tranquil, and whatnot. But he does have a huge streak, right? If you get a kill right now on him, you get a ton of gold and experience back in your way.
Well, no, because they killed him. They killed him
earlier.
And then he came back and killed Loader. So he's only got 1 kill at the moment on the streak.
But the level deficit is also pretty helpful for them.
I mean, look at this. 9 minutes in, and he's still nearly got the Blink Dagger on the items that he's already bought.
One way you can kill him is using the Omni Slash plus maybe the Phoenix ult once you have it all back on ready. But again, you also the hero that we haven't talked about is this Viper. Like he's free farming.
He's having a great time up there. He's not bothered that no one's worrying about him. 68 CS, 31 denies. I mean, this is Empire really getting themselves ahead at this point. Alliance, they're going to need to look for something big. I mean, what's their saving grace at the moment? I guess it's the fact that they've got this S4 Shadow Fiend that can farm up in the jungle and try and catch up in terms of net worth.
Yeah, and I think you are in a territory where you need Empire to start make some mistakes. They are playing a very dive-centric team where if they kind of dive between your tier 1 and tier 2 tower, a good Shadow Fiend ultimate, a good Phoenix ultimate can kind of get you back in it. But if Team Empire plays cool, calm, and collected, then I think they could kind of snowball completely out of control. Especially now that Blink Dagger is online shortly after the Vanguard Franco.
It's 10 minutes in this build from Funnick, looking absolutely terrifying.
They also have the Wombo combo with the Static Storm, with the Phoenix ult as well. So, you know, they have some very strong mid-game tools, but again, that's up to Team Empire to clump up and group up and make those mistakes.
Of course, the fact that Aloha Dance now did reach level 6, he's level 7 in fact at this point. When they get the blink on the axe, if he gets a call, if you bring the Tiny in on top of that, you're killing anyone on the map at this point, on the side of Alliance.
Pretty much. Maybe Juggernaut could survive if he spins the magic damage, but apart from that, maybe Bane if he gets off a brain sap. But really like this timing. Well, double smokes. One smoke is stronger than the other because one of them is packing a Blink Dagger. Although for the Alliance's sake, looks like the Axe gank party is running into nobody.
Now let's see if Alliance can find anything here. Smoking up towards Silent. Has got the fairly tanky with the Treads, Aquila, and the Buckler. 4 points in corrosive skin. They're going to have to throw a lot down on this Viper if they want to try and find him. And Silent, I realize there's something fishy's going on. A fair few people off the side of Alliance missing on the map, and Silent plays it safe.
Yep. Well, looks like the courier is sent back before the item has been delivered.
And mid lane now, Funnick just skipping the creep wave here, looking to try and take another tier 1, and he will do with the help of Resolution.
Looks like the two teams are going to run into each other. Resolution can toss Axe forward, but Blink Dagger forward, he misses.
Get the call on S4, but Resolution's going to still try and follow through the avalanche on Arcade Brainsap, but there's your Omni Slash. They've actually taken down the Tiny. Now with the Blade Fury, they're looking to try and clean up more. They're going to get at the IO, and they do. It's another kill for the side of Alliance. Silent throws down the Vibe Strike onto Loader, but S4 moving forward with the raises. Funnick's in trouble. The Nightmare's there to set this one up. Can they get this kill? Funnick's incredibly low. Bulldog comes in with the dive, trying to clean this one up. 3 more heroes on the side of Empire sitting very, very low. Funnick will pop. Bulldog ends up going down. No fear burns as well. There's a double kill for Bulldog. Silent will get a double kill on the cleanup. But Alliance are going to be very happy with that trade. 4 for 2 there.
It's like I said, if you capitalize on them over-diving, you over-committing for these kills, you can get off a very good Phoenix ult and into more dive. Looks like
Let's have a look at the replay.
Yep. And here comes the over-aggression. Well, it was a good blink call attempt, but as soon as he got glimpsed back, the Tiny just got completely isolated. Shadow Fiend great raises here by S4, and I believe he had his own rune, right? The S4 rune. He's moving pretty fast.
Yeah. But even without it, Alliance take it. And there we have it. So Alliance really getting themselves back into the game. Of course, shout out to the Scory Sports for bringing us that replay. And the fact that they just get these kills at the end, you know, Bulldog gets the burn damage on him, Funnick and No Fear desperately trying to retreat. Those extra 2 kills just pushing Alliance ahead and enabling them to come out on top of that fight with a fair bit of a net worth change.
With that said, though, Team Empire is still very far ahead in terms of the net worth because of the laning
overall
stage.
Farm is,
So I feel like Alliance needs 1 more of those fights, and then they're back.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they're going to get it. Again, the overwhelming item advantage of Team Empire, because of the mech, because of the Blink Dagger, they could start fine-manning around this tier 1 top and maybe look for something else.
Yeah, the strength of Empire is still very evident as they're going to bully themselves down this top lane, get this tier 1. Alliance, do they have anything to do against this? You've only got the S4 Shadow Fiend and the Ake Bane hanging around at the moment.
I think if you're Alliance, you sacrifice this tier 1 tower, because if you look over to Shadow Fiend, he's so close to the mech. If he dies right now and delays the mech further by like 2 minutes, then it's really bad time. Yeah, Alliance will make the sacrificial play. Meanwhile, Ammo Bulldog does pick up the Hannah Midas. Very thankful for that previous fight.
Io is fairly deep here in the jungle. And there's a lot of Alliance here. Okay, that's a big Fiend's grip. Cancels the TP on Resolution. He's now going to be held there. Loader will get the goal. Oh!
They're out.
Doesn't save the Tiny. Tiny still went down and out. IO relocating back to where Alliance were as well. And they will take down the combo that was causing issues at the beginning of the game. But now Alliance starting to get ahead of it and getting themselves those kills.
Yeah, unfortunately, Team Empire didn't really get too much out of that situation. They got the tier 1, but they already got the tier 1 regardless. And you got to keep in mind, Axe is one of those heroes that will kind of fall when it comes to scaling compared to Shadow Fiend, Phoenix, and whatnot. His damage output in the mid game, you know, would not be able to shred through the high armor heroes of the Alliance, especially when there's things like Mech and Vlad's and maybe even AC coming out. So I think Alliance, again, they need one big fight to come back in it, but this is a very, very good trend and good direction they're heading towards too.
Silent, he's found a Disruptor gone fairly far out. The big limits bringing Silent away, but Funny's there with the call and they'll get the dunk onto Nuts. They find themselves one kill. Funny Silent, maybe seeing if they can move forward for more. Alliance got AK and S4 just splitting up on the top lane, getting themselves away from this. A 12 to 10 at the moment, a lot of fighting, a lot of action from both sides. Still Empire with a slight edge, but Alliance certainly regaining momentum.
Yep.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
What Alliance is looking for right now is items to help their Shadow Fiend tank up, make sure he survives the initiation of Team Empire. Because Team Empire could technically blink call, follow with Tiny's, follow up with the Witch Stalker, and just burst S4 down before he ever uses the mech. So you need the HP up, because when the mech flies out for Team Alliance, then that's when your Phoenix Egg kicks in. That's when the Healing Ward plus Juggernaut kicks in. So the longer the fight drags out, I think it favors more towards Alliance. They need to tank up and they need to farm up. So the space is being very constricted by Team Empire. They're doing a very good job pushing towers, taking advantage of the situation.
Worth noting, of course, the resolution on his Tiny still getting a decent amount of farm. He's just one final piece away from that Aghanims. So they're around the corner, mid lane. Funny gets the blink off.
Yep.
It does get the Blade Fury off in time, and that might actually be enough to get himself out with the Static Storm with the Kinetic Field. Alliance might be ready to turn. Bulldog Icarus diving now with the Supernova from the high ground. The Omni Slash as well is a double kill for Loda. The Glimpse is going to bring back Funny. They might be able to send the firm, but Funny gets the blink off in time. It will just be the two, but again, the Tiny and the IO, and the fact that Loda gets himself the double kill. I think we're getting very close to the point where Alliance are going to be closing in on being at the same level as Empire are in terms of net worth.
Looks like Empire still wants to take this fight. They know Phoenix's eggs is down. Shadow Fiend ult is still online, though. I feel like this is a very risky fight.
I don't know if Funny can jump in on this. Can he really? He's thinking about it. He's moving forward. He does have Silent there as well with the Invis, and they'll go with the Viper Strike onto Loda. Loda Blade Furying. Death Ward's actually been dropped as well. They get the call out onto Loda. And they actually bring him down. He's got the backup of his team with the mech popped as well. Loda's going to be fine, and now it's going to be them going back in. They get off the Requiem. Io goes down. It's a killing spree for Ake. Nuts getting caught out by the paralyzing cast. They're backing themselves up Alliance. They may have to sacrifice their Nuts here as he's getting incredibly low. Viper will take the kill. The dunk, in fact, coming through from Funnick, finishing that one off. Now they're moving forward, trying to get more. Ake's got the Glimmer Cape. Looks like he'll be all right. So it is just a support for support trade. But 13 for 13. This game's certainly panning out to be quite a close one, Lumi.
Yeah, very risky fight that Team Empire took because Tiny had no way to join back to the fight. Of course, Wisp had to relocate and he used it just for himself to get back in. But yeah, I guess it went okay for both sides. But as this game gets dragged out more and more, I think it's very apt to say that Alliance is back, at least in this particular game. They're somewhat behind, but I think their heroes just scale way better. Phoenix sitting at 1,800 gold. I think we might see something like a Shiva's Guard coming out for him, or maybe a utility item. Solar Crest is not bad if he wants to make the Shadow Fiend even tankier. You can also even go for a Pipe, although Pipe might not be so good as the game drags on. You're going to see more physical damage coming out from a hero like Tiny and Viper.
And this, I mean, the Tiny IO is always going to be an issue. When Alliance start to group up and go, they've got to be ready for these this kind of the split push actions that Resolution and Aloha Dance will surely look for if the fights don't start to always go their way. Silent as well, it was worth mentioning that he is still doing very well in terms of farm. 9k now on this Viper. And he's picked up the Yashin now on top of the mech. With this smoke with Funnick and No Fear, they'll see if they can try and find something across the map. They're going to make the move. And this could be quite a nice wraparound here onto Alliance. Alliance, they do have the full 5 of them close. Yeah, if they could catch out S4, that's exactly what they want to find. Straight in with the Berserker's Call. S4 just a little bit too far away from his team. The Death Ward gets dropped down. S4 can't turn this one around. And Funnick finds yet another dunk And that's pretty much the best pick-off they could have hoped for their Alliance with the, Empire with that smoke.
It is the best pickoff because whenever Shadow Fiend is not on the map, Empire could do whatever the hell they want to do. If they want to push, if they want to fight, in fact, they want to tower dive here against
Look at
Nuts.
Silent. He's just going straight in onto Nuts with the relocating as well from Aloha Dots, bringing in resolution. Another quick pick-off there for Empire as they take down 2 there in a matter of seconds from the side of Alliance.
Alliance is just desperately trying to get some farm, and meanwhile, mid lane, the fight continue here. Phoenix!
It was nightmared up there, but it didn't work out the way that Ake intended. And Empire find the kill, and I think they feel confident with his push. They saw Loader on that bottom lane. He did not have a TP scroll. So it almost certainly picked up one now just out from the side shop. He does. It's actually still on cooldown here for a bit of time, but nonetheless, Empire, they're not going to push it up to the high ground yet, and they're just going to back up and start to clear out this wave on the bottom.
They could have technically hit the tier 3 tower a little bit, because Shadow Fiend, even though he just responded, he doesn't have max soul yet, so even if a fight breaks out, he will not have a full channel of Requiem. But they give Alliance the respect they deserve and back off for now. They're so far ahead that they could just start looking towards Roshan as their next play. And I think that's actually where Alliance could strike back here, because they have things like Phoenix Egg at the Roshan Pit, very, very strong ultimate, Static Storm. They still got the Wombo combo. We saw last time, when everything connect, they do have a fearsome team fight.
Yeah, they certainly do indeed. Bulldog now, what's he doing in terms of levels after this match? So he is level 11 now, so he's going to have that better supernova. Yeah.
I mean, Phoenix is kind of the all-in hero when it comes to it. If the ultimate pops, you know, you just die. If it fully goes through, then you generally will win the fight. So because hero selected, we do see, that's why these fights are so lopsided. Alliance wins, you know, 4-1, and then you see Empire striking back with, you know, 3-0. So Crimson Guard finish on the axe. This will allow Empire to really take that Omni Slash like it's nothing.
Yeah, very nice against the jug indeed, this pickup. And Alliance now starting to push down this tier 1. Empire, so they may feel that they're ready to contest this. Funny, moving forward, no fear on the sidelines. Can they get themselves the initiation that they want? And here we go with the cast, but the Blade Fury is there. Loader's going to be able to ward this one off. Can they find anything? They get the avalanche onto S4. Resolution closing it. Funny gets a beautiful call onto Nuts and Ake. Silence there, but they need to take down this egg. They get off the Requiem of Souls, and Alliance might be able to turn this. They found the Tiny. They're going to get Funny as well. The Feed Screw was there from Ake. Silence trying to move in. They do have the Crimson Guard out. As S4 is incredibly low. Trying to go with the right clicks. Will still pop. It's a double kill for Silent. S4 does get a kill on his way down, but Loader, they're looking to clean up. Silence, the last one left alive. Just really trying to find this a buyback here on Io. Coming back into the fight. Trying to keep Silent alive, and it might pay off. He'll get a triple kill. Loader as well, stuck in the trees. It's an ultra kill. The buyback from the IO, allowing Empire to come out just on top of that fight and getting Silent that ultra kill. Beautiful play from Aloha Dance.
The most worth it buyback I've ever seen from a Wisp, because if he didn't buyback, Silent just dies.
Silent would have been dead.
Yeah, and the team fight ends like 4-3 in favor, or 4-2 in favor of Alliance. So huge buyback play coming out from the Wisp, and oh, this is why that he plays that hero. Amazing. Stuff. Silent gets an ultra kill in the fight now. He ramps up. He could get the BKB, and honestly, BKB will be exceptional in terms of blocking the damage output from the Phoenix, from the Shadow Fiend, and to a lesser extent, this, you know, the Static Storm and whatnot.
And this is panning out to be a very impressive fight performance from Silent, because now we're 12.
So slowly that the egg is almost always going to channel through. You're getting a huge AoE stun, you're getting huge AoE damage. I don't think Emerald Bulldog can be dealt with unless he just gets popped in the beginning of the fight. So I think Alliance, despite still losing out the net worth, they're still losing out the map control. If they get a good team fight, they are going to win those fights.
So lane resolution starting to hammer down on the tier 2. A bit of TP back here from Nuts. The rest of the side of Alliance feeling happy to push on this 2-1. Okay, they're coming back for the fight here. They would love to find resolution.
Glimpse.
They've got the glimpse here, bringing him back. There is still a relocate available. They can get themselves in to bring him out. Resolution's going to go for the TP. Can he get himself out of time? No! They get the kill. They get the Tiny. And Aloha does just has to get himself right out of there.
Yeah, that was a key kill because Tiny is working on that Soul Curious. The attack speed is a big component, a big part against the Phoenix. So getting that key kill, delaying the AC is big for Emerald Bulldog. Mid lane, I think Ake might find himself a Fiend's Grip against maybe Funny.
Yeah, Funny comes
He
out.
could glimmer in and maybe look for something.
I mean, Funny
Yeah, he's trying to...
might jump on Ake. He does have No Fear. No Fear's got the Death Ward, but Ake keeps himself on the high ground.
Oh.
Okay, they've got the vision here. With the glimpse. Yeah, actually, trap No Fear here in the kinetic field. He's going to be alright. And at this point as well, Ake will invest in a gem, so making sure that they can contain and keep this map control that they're going to be after Alliance. Because at the moment, looking at the warding, I think they realize that Empire, they do have some pretty good vision over the Radiant side of the map.
Yeah, the other concern for Alliance, I keep saying they have good team fight, is the single target damage isn't actually all too
live on the Viper. In fact, the BKB only 150 gold away here. It's going to be very hard for Alliance to deal with.
I do want to point out Funnick's item choices here. He went for a point booster, thinking that he'll upgrade it into a Aghanims, but as the game drags out, he realized that he really needs a pipe to give his team a fighting chance in these team fights. So he goes back for a hood, and I imagine once Team Empire gets that pipe, they'll try to take another fight.
Bottom lane again, we've seen Alliance consistently group up here. The last few times they haven't been able to find anything with this movement. And the fact that Silence turned up as well, I think that might give them second thoughts about jumping in on this one. They just group up, back themselves off. Do they have a smoke? They do have a smoke on Nuts. So we'll sit there able to try and go for some sort of a wraparound. At this point, it's actually going to be Empire the ones looking for the action. Silent, No Fear, and Funnick smoking up.
Phoenix
ready with the
cannot
wraparound. There's the full
beginning.
5-man here of Alliance. Shivixala comes out and they'll get the ult out just in time before Funnick can get the call off. Lotus moving forward with the Blade Fury. The Supernova, it will go off. It's Silent got off the BKB, but the Stunner course going through it. Now with the Omni Slash onto Resolution. The Fiends comes well from Ake. They found the IO. Can be a Resolution as well. The Static Storm is huge. The BKB is now gone for Silent. Funnick gets the call off onto S4 and Loda. Now with the Death Ward as well from No Fear, doing a hell of a lot of damage. But Loda, he gets off the Blade Fury and he moves forward onto No Fear and Silent. Ake holds back Funnick with the Nightmare. It's a 2-for-1 at the moment. They did lose S4 and his Shadow Fiend. He's a huge amount of the damage output for Alliance, and this might be the point where Empire are able to clean up. They're looking for Nuts. They get the dunk there from Funnick. It's a double kill on this axe. They're trying to move forward for more. Bulldog, he gets the Shiva's Guard. Funnick moving close. He hasn't got the mana here for the Berserker's call.
Okay.
And he will be able to get himself down to the low ground there with the Sun Ray. So a 2-for-2 trade. Yet again, Empire sacking the Tiny IO, but they do get that really big kill on the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, once the Wombo combo from Alliance ends, they really just don't have the damage output. And this is why Shadow Fiend needs to continue to survive these team fight and build more tank. So he's currently sitting around at 2k goldish. I imagine he's going to continue to tank up by buying a Helm of Dominator or just going into straight Scotty. We'll see what S4 ends up going. Meanwhile, that pipe looks like it's going to be a BKB first. Okay, that's a great tanking item choice as well. But again, the problem continues is that now Resolution, I imagine he's going to get the Aegis because he's the one that's actually dying in fights.
And it looks like Alliance in no shape or form to contest this one. Free Rocher for the side of Empire. As you said, Resolution will be the one to grab it.
The other issue is that Loda is just not outputting enough damage.
At the moment. I mean, with that 2.2k gold, is he looking for the Skadi here on top of the SMY with that ultimate ult?
For who?
For Loda on the jug?
Yeah, I think he has to. It's a great kind of dual item. You could tank up as well as output damage. But you won't have time to finish it because here comes Team Empire.
Let's see if Alliance have got the power to hold this back. Empire ready to go in full force onto the tier 3. Fortification comes out straight away. Resolution's damage pretty severe. He has nearly got that money there for the AC recipe. And the final plate. Now tier 3 starting to fall. Alliance, they need to do something. They'll drop down the kinetic field. S4 trying to get in there with the razors onto Silent, but Silent incredibly tanky. They'll take the tier 3 into Phonic. Oh, he gets the call onto 2. It's beautiful. The Avalanche as well. The Static Storm comes out for Nuts. And S4 gets off a good Requiem. They're going to go for the Supernova here. Can Bulldog get it off? I think he might. And Blow to move forward with the Blade Fury. Maybe they can turn this. Oh, they lose the Supernova. It does get taken down just in time. Loda's going to fall. No! He gets the Omni Slash off onto No Fear. Resolution as well, dropping low. But they'll find the kill onto the Jug. Double kill for Silent. You said they couldn't kill him early, and they still can't kill him now. Resolution's back with his Aegis. The second life, there's a Phoenix Grip onto Silent. Phonic moving forward, gets the call onto Ake. The Viper's damage, bringing Ake low, toss forward onto the Viper. Ake's got the Glimmer Cape, trying to get himself out. Ake's going to be able to live. Loda trying to get Silent, but he can't quite finish him off here. Loda's now got to back himself off. Resolution gets the toss. The right click onto Nuts. Now at the moment we're sitting 2 down. Buyback on Disruptor. Empire, they're going for the racks here. Might be a little bit more careful. Loda getting healed up by the Sun Ray. Silent, fairly low. And there's going to be the Glimpse back. If they can kill this Viper, that'll be pretty huge for them. And they might just do it with the Blade Fury. Silent's going to get Glimpse Guns, and they'll take it down with the pure damage from the Brain Sap. It's enough from Ake to find the kill. Naimo controlling Resolution, but it gets taken off Phonic. Oh, the quarter does. That's a dieback on the Disruptor. This may be Alliance going to ham. Bulldog, he could die back as well, and he will. Double kill for Phonic as he hits the dunks as they matter. And this is going to be the bottom set of Rexcom. 2 heroes dying back on the side of Alliance. And Empire are able to come out on top.
Oh my god, double diebacks. Buyback coming out from Loda. I mean, if that Phoenix ultimate just
was
half a
so
second more,
close.
and the team fight would have been completely different. And that's why Phoenix is an on hero. If that ultimate pops, it's ain't Gucci.
Resolution going in with the snaps onto S4. Loda trying to do what he can with the Blade Fury, but Phonic gets off the call. The toss is there onto Loda as well. He did kick them in Cape Top, and he will be able to ward this one off. No fears there, and he does have the Death Ward, level 11 as well when it's good to go. But the Nightmare from Ake holding back the Witch Doctor. The rest of Empire don't care. They'll take down the melee racks in the mid lane. And now they'll look to maybe play it a bit safe. They will have the Disruptor back up, Alliance. So Empire double back in on this one.
No,
looks like they'll play it safe. Phonic's out of mana. Resolution wants to keep it cool. AC done 2.4k gold on top of that as well. Off the back of that, your IO suddenly has a Vladimir's. And well, you've got 1.5 set of racks. Empire are going to feel very happy with the way those last 2 skirmishes went.
Yeah, another reason why Alliance didn't have that much damage is that Shadow Fiend died and he wasn't at full soul when he came back. So even when he channeled his Requiem, it actually didn't do any damage. So Alliance being really caught with the pants down, and Phoenix getting caught was really a big issue. Emerald Bulldog
that could have been the turning point.
Yeah, really far back. So again, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. Team Empire needs to make a ton of mistakes for Alliance to make a comeback, but at this point, I guess that's all you have to go on. You know, you hope for that mistake.
It's certainly Empire's game to lose at the moment, as they'll start to push down, take this final tier 2. There we go, tier 2 down, Empire. They'd love to try and find this final set. Phonic gets the Battle Hunger onto Ake. Alliance, they do have everything up. A little bit short here on the mana for the Shadow Fiend. S4 just pushing out this bottom lane. Glimpse onto Phonic isn't going to lead into anything. Now Resolution heads up. And look at this damage. The tower just disappearing in front of the eyes of Alliance. And this could be the racks as well. They've got to do something. Phonic trying to get in position with the call. Won't find it. There's just Supernova. He's going to try for a Ken Bulldog. Can they take down the Supernova? They're trying to move in. Is he going to get it off? No! He's dead. They pop the egg. They do lose the Witch Doctor's. S4 gets a nice Requiem off. The stuns there. He's been Glimmer Cape Tuck, trying to move back. Phonic going forward as well. He's not done. Gets the call onto Loda. Resolution and Silent coming in as well. Loda will get off the Blade Fury, but he's got to get himself back to the fountain. And Empire just storming the base. Toss onto Ake. He's out, down and out for the count. Avalanche onto Loda. It's a double kill for Silent. And Resolution just moves in and murders them in the fountain. 4 heroes dead on Alliance. And this will be the racks in the top lane, and it's going to be the game. GG is called. And in what was an incredibly frantic game where Alliance did show some signs of life, Empire just showed a hell of a lot more. And at the end of the day, all those team fights went the way of Empire.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Roshan, by getting the Aegis on Resolution, the buyback to me actually was the turning point
That
of
IO
game.
buyback.
Silent
A low
getting an
hard
ultra
dance.
kill, and then he just kind of scaled out of control.
There's the man. That was absolutely incredible. And those fights at the end, we were talking about the Supernova. Bulldog just couldn't get it off. He was so close.
Yep.
So close both times. Couldn't do it. And game 1 will go to Empire. We'll see if Alliance will be back maybe in game 2. We will see. It'll be right around the corner. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have a quick advert break and then back to the panel. See you in a bit.
live here from Dreamleague Winter in Jinjiang. We are here after the first game of Empire versus Alliance. Alliance not able to take the win, but what a game that was. Very even, very back and forth, loads of fights. Loved the IO from Aloha Dance, and that's what I actually want to talk about first, because what a performance he had, especially when he brought back mostly that fight on the bottom lane. What's your opinion on the Aloha Dance IO?
I mean, he's played Wisp for a really long time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's known as one of those like really high skill cap players, and I think Wisp is one of those types of characters that you can really shine on when you have high individual skill and good decision making, which I think Aloha Dance exudes in pretty much all of his matches. So I thought it was really good.
Good to hear. What do you think about the game itself, PPD?
I thought it was probably maybe the most exciting game of the tournament. I actually really enjoyed watching it. It was back and forth the whole time, tons of action. I didn't really know who was going to win until the end. The Wisp was amazing. I think Aloha Dance, if we were discussing who might be the MVP, is probably looking like the MVP for Empire.
Yeah, I would say so too. And an exciting game with Viper in the draft. Hero that's not really known for being exciting. Surprising?
Yeah, I think it was a strange game in the sense that Empire, actually, they won all 3 lanes. That's fair to say, right? Axe got free farm, Viper got free farm. I think they also won mid. They killed S4. The Tiny had really good farm too. And then they built this really big lead, and suddenly it seems like Alliance are best at fighting when they're behind. I think what they need to work on going forward is to play their laning stage better. This game, I think Phoenix can't really win that lane. There's no way. You can maybe put Bane up there, then you sacrifice Shadow Fiend. You can put Disruptor up there, then Loda gets completely stomped in the bottom lane. So innately in their draft, they couldn't really solve the problems that they had in order to win more than one lane.
Yeah.
And they've got to find a way of setting that up with maybe a stronger offlaner than Phoenix for that. Although Phoenix was maybe the reason the game got as long
Exactly.
as it did.
They had some team fights, so they were able to fight back in the game and come back from behind, even though the lanes didn't go as
Yeah, the
planned.
Shivas was huge. But for me, it was like fun at Axe. Like, I very, very rarely get to see Axe. And in that game, he farmed so well. He had like 10 minutes, he had like basically Vanguard, like Tranquil Boots, and he just...
It was a really good pick. It's often Axe is kind of a hard pick because he doesn't match up well against tri-lanes, but they saw the early Wisp pick and they said, okay, Alliance is going to be doing dual lanes, and then they saw Juggernaut get picked. We're like, all right, let's dual lane an Axe against a dual lane Juggernaut, and that's a matchup we're always going to win.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of back and forth that game, a lot of fighting. One fight in particular piqued the interest of Shane. We're going to look at a replay.
All right, so this is the fight when they're pushing bottom lane.
I think this is where Wisp buys back. And
Yeah, it is. It is.
Huge
21
turning
minutes.
initially, it's a really bad fight for Empire. The Tiny combo didn't do too much to S4 yet. Glimmer Capes, the guy's Requiem off. Good grip by Ake.
And this is where it's still going downhill.
This is the Crimson Guard and work though as well. Like,
Yeah, they took no physical damage from Shadow Fiend here.
There, IO dead. Look for the buyback. Look for the Viper most of all. The Viper is the reason that it's worth for the IO to buy back. That Viper would have been dead 10 times over if it wasn't for that
so
IO.
difficult to focus.
Good TP out from Bulldog here. He at least minimizes their casualties.
Ultra
But
kill.
the
20
thing,
minutes.
I think for Alliance in these team fights, we're giving a lot of credit to Phoenix for delaying the game. I think the Disruptor had a couple of really key static storms. He actually managed to static storm as Io was tethering in, so he tethers into the kinetic field and gets caught. That fight, I believe he got the static storm onto both as well, secured the Requiem for S4 that almost one-shot the Tiny. That's exactly what they needed to happen. I think Alliance played pretty good team fights. The main issue for them is just the laning stage went so poorly that even playing good team fights was not enough to come back. They could fight on even footing, but they never really... How much did they manage to get back out of their gold deficit? They maybe pulled it back a bit, but it never really felt like they could, for example, go and contest Roshan and get an advantage in the game and actually start leading.
They never handedly won a team fight. It was always, they were always losing their Shadow Fiend or losing their Juggernaut and kind of like struggling out of the team fights and making a lot of trades. And when you're already behind, you need one of those overwhelming team fights to go your way in order to get back.
Then one of the
like,
fights on the bottom lane, it was lasting for like 3 minutes long. Continuously pushing in, and then you had, according to the commentators, you had Alliance using all their spells, using all their ultimates, and then they're basically kind of done. While for Empire, they could continue fighting after that. Is that a drafting issue, or was that more like they couldn't close the fights out?
They had a clear idea in mind with what they wanted to do. Like Peter and I were talking about it during the draft. You just use the Phoenix as a deterrent for pushing, and you actually just get towers with that lineup. I think that's what Alliance really wanted to do, is going late against IO Tiny with the heroes that they had. They kind of lacked real catch. So you have a disruptor who's good against the relocate when you want to fight because you can glimpse one hero back or just drop a storm on it. But in terms of actually stopping them from split pushing and things like that, Alliance are going to run into issues. So you have like an offline Phoenix, for example. So
They were more on the defensive rather than the offensive where they wanted to be. And that may be because they lost the lanes. Instead of being able to aggressively push towers and force Empire to come into them, they had to defend their towers and kind of been trying to initiate onto the Tiny and Viper, which was really difficult.
What do you think about like the Bane going middle lane instead of like securing, like zoning out the Axe completely, securing the Juggernaut farm? Like sure, Shadow Fiend takes a hit, but he can kind of farm back with the raises.
In hindsight, it might have been a good idea, but I mean, Shadow Fiend already lost that lane, 2v2. He may not have done so well 1v2, especially as for a player who's not, he doesn't come up. When you think about S4, he's not that Shadow Fiend player like other players are, so he may not be too familiar with that matchup.
So going into the next game, we have a crowd here that is kind of slightly biased towards Alliance. No offense, guys. What are you going to tell Alliance? What is Alliance going to do to make sure that they actually win the second game and force at least the third game out?
Get better lanes. That's the only, that's the #1 advice. You could look at more detailed stuff, but all of that doesn't matter until they get through the laning stage intact.
And how would you propose to do that? Because they're going to run maybe into dual lanes, into aggressive dry lanes, perhaps?
I think, in this game, the whole idea of sacrificing the Phoenix and then getting teamfights later is okay, but imagine if they didn't manage to get these teamfights. This game could have been an absolute stomp. It was because Empire actually played a bit into their hand and let them try to fight like that. I think Bulldog needs a hero. If he's self-sustaining, he has to have a hero that does better on its own, like a Darkseer, Beastmaster, for example. Or they need both of the supports to be strong in the laning phase. Bane is great, Disruptor is not very strong. They couldn't counter the Axe as a result of that.
Well, the Phoenix was second to last pick, right?
Yeah.
Like the Phoenix was the last pick, and then the Viper was picked after that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, in that situation, it's a bit hard, I guess. But I do agree in general.
There are so many counter picks to
I
Phoenix.
just think the Juggernaut and then the follow-up of the Axe pick was perfect from Empire.
it was.
Juggernaut had no opportunity. Maybe if they would have tried dodging lanes, throw Juggernaut like in a dual lane off lane kind of situation,
That would have been very
better.
good, actually. That's what they should have done. Phoenix can safe lane and take a hit.
Yeah.
That's
Also, giving up First Blood was pretty bad for them as well.
We're going to find out what Alliance is going to do different this game, as we did just go into the draft. Alliance has opted to remove the Slaughter from the pool first. They have first pick this series, this game, so perhaps that will give them a slight edge.
And the Radiant as well.
Doom
And
Darkseer
Radiant,
both banned
yes.
again.
This is not a combination that you see often, and Radiant and first pick.
I think Empire might ban Io now. Now they should. I still think they should pick Shadow Fiend. I don't feel like S4 played a bad game. I think
I don't
it
think
was
so,
just a hard game for them. Okay, they go for their signature Tusk. That's
Team Empire's
obviously
turn
understandable
to
as well. Still the best hero for Alliance overall, but Radiant Shadow Fiend.
They can always get it with their second pick. It's not guaranteed that
Yeah,
Empire
that's
will
true.
take it as dire.
Empire don't get it, then it work. And they have their Brood opening actually. That I believe 4 Clovers banned out against them. When Alliance were first pick in that game, they banned Brood in the first phase.
Yes,
That's true.
So with Slaughter banned, how's Gyro for this opening here for Empire against Tusk?
10
Gyro's
seconds.
pretty good.
very, very good against Tusk.
He's preemptively call down when there's no
Yeah, it's
Seconds.
super easy to react to Snowball and high movement speed.
And like Gyro Dazzle seems like a really strong opening, considering you can go into second phase, ban AA if you want. Oh, they're just gonna go Bane.
There's the Bane.
Team Empire's
Bane's
turn
always a
to
little
pick.
iffy into Tusk because they have the Snowball to stop the grip, but the hero, it's still really good. You kind of just have to play around the Snowball a bit. Still great for setting up kills and that BKB lockdown that they may or may not give up Shadow Fiend again. I think it's definitely a possibility.
Well, they're thinking about this quite heavily. Shadow Fiend or let it go through
10
I wouldn't be
seconds
surprised if
remaining.
Alliance let it go.
as well,
Yeah,
even
they
if
just-
Empire doesn't pick it up.
Yeah, I'm not sure they want to go back to that hero. S4 did play it pretty well. He was up against a really hard matchup with Tiny Wisp, so this game it'll probably be much easier mid lane. But nope, going for the Dazzle.
Alliance's turn
Instead.
to bat.
Next pick is Empire's.
I bet SF doesn't get touched. I think it might get touched in second phase. The Alliance might pick it.
Shadow Fiend?
I don't think it's. I think it maybe won't get banned by either team here.
Even with the
10
Dazzle, like that
seconds
combination is
remaining.
very powerful, right? All the minus armor.
Definitely.
I think Empire
5
might want to try to run for
seconds
their Axe again if they see an opening. Not yet, obviously, but it's still
Against Dazzle?
It's a possibility. They counter each other. It's a little bit of an
Yeah,
interesting matchup. As far as the laning stage goes, Axe can have a hard time against Shadow Wave, but he obviously goes. Calling Blade goes through the grave. I think it's a pretty good counter initiate to Tusk when you have the blink. There are some potentially useful combos there.
We have what probably is a support Night Stalker. Well,
Yeah.
maybe not,
Whatever.
but
I think they've run it both ways, right? Funix played it
Funix played it
one game
offline,
and then,
that's true,
yeah.
I would like to maybe Funny to play it here. There's no Darkseer to pair up with it, so a support Night Stalker might be a little more underwhelming.
Turn to bear.
I think we've seen Night Stalker once or twice as not like a without Darkseer, and he hasn't had the best
It was
success.
MFF with Yapsor actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Empire wisely banning the Brood now.
10 seconds.
Do you think Alliance could have tried for that instead of the Dazzle? Into Bane Night Stalker? Seems like a pretty good Brood game
5 seconds
starters.
remaining.
They could have, yeah. There's a ton of counters to Brood, though.
Reserve
Brood's
time.
become much less popular because people are experimenting with more heroes. Like Axe is coming back, Tidehunters coming back into the meta as well. Timbersaw is pretty much back, I think, at this point. All those heroes can solo lane against a Brood and have a huge impact throughout the entire game.
The pain removed as well.
Team
Looking at
Empire's
Alliance's
turn to
2
bat.
heroes that they have picked up so far, how much do you feel like they're revealing from what they're planning on doing, or is it nothing
Not
at all?
much.
It's pretty open. I would expect Tusk to be played by Nuts again, and Dazzle to Ake. The rest of the draft is
10
open.
seconds remaining.
I mean, normally when you see Dazzle, the one thing that I look to is always having that really strong frontline hero that you can siege with. Like, that's why you see Shadow Fiend so much with it.
Reserve time.
But Gyro's banned out from Alliance as well, so Loda's not going to be able to get his hands on that.
Might see a Wraith King from Alliance for Loda.
Yeah.
That'd be very good, actually.
Seems like a nice hero for them.
He's a very good hero to snowball in as well. You don't have to think twice necessarily. In a lot of other situations, like, can I bring my carry in? Wraith King, you just go. And then if you have a good follow-up, he doesn't mind too much being thrown into the middle of everything.
Like
There's the Shadow Fiend ban.
S4 Windrunner and Loda Wraith King.
What do you think of Templar Assassin for Team Empire here? Like because S4 can play that hero.
TA is fine.
Just as like a counter pick as well. Your dire side, you can
TA
start.
Dire is always good.
Yeah.
There's not. I mean, TA is not like you see like Tusk Dazzle. You're not like, oh, let's get TA. It's kind of
Yeah.
like, you know,
It's okay.
TA is fine here. It's not like Tusk Dazzle counter TA in any way. It's just
It's always nice to just have that one way to secure Roche, though. That's like really easy, you know.
tons of vision too.
Yeah.
Night Stalker with the night vision and then traps everywhere.
5
Pretty easy to
seconds
keep track of your
remaining.
opponents.
Reserve
What
time.
hero would you like to see for Bulldog this game if it's not a Phoenix?
Viper.
Alliances turn to
I think
hit.
it's right now. It's looking like a pretty good Clockwork game. Actually, I know he doesn't play Clockwork a lot, but
Yeah,
it's
he
one of
does
the heroes.
play it, yeah.
I've seen him play it a couple times. Oh, Furion.
Empires turn
This is
to
the
bat.
not the first time they picked this in the Night Stalker either.
They're not afraid of it.
Yeah, but it feels to me like Cinero saying Alliance have a tendency to not have the strongest lanes, and I feel like it could be happening again. Like Nature's Prophet is not kind of like the lane winning hero that he used to be unless you can find a good 1v1 for him, but it doesn't happen much, and even against Viper, that's not a great matchup.
This could be the Alchemist draft from
10
Alliance though.
seconds remaining.
You know, it does okay against Viper, he just farms.
Yeah, I actually think that
5
Alchemist
seconds
beats Viper in lane.
remaining.
But I think he has to get the PMS, the poor man's shield, right away. And I think that some Alchemists do that. I think when we saw Nikwa play it earlier, Alchemist versus Viper, I don't think he actually did go PMS. And he lost that lane pretty handedly against, who was he playing against? Was it Miracle? Or no, it wasn't Miracle.
No.
It was,
The first,
I
is it
forget.
Vega?
It was Vega.
Yeah, it was no one's
No
Viper.
one- no one Viper.
Okay, yeah. So he lost that lane pretty bad.
Can't you kind of abuse the spray though when you have corrosive skin? Like you walk into it, you just give him the dot, and then you just like
Yeah,
go
I
in and
think,
out.
I think though, like if you play aggressive as Alchemist in the early levels, you can actually bully Viper out of the lane and get like all the CS and go from a quick PMS.
So it's just like
to
levels 1 to
follow.
3 where you have to win basically.
I think so. But with a PMS and a Quelling Blade, it's pretty hard to lose that lane.
Yeah, true. Looking at what Empire have right now, I kind of like the idea of a PL for Alliance here. I think it's very, they have no way of dealing with it really, outside
PL's
of like
good.
just having good lanes. But
good.
Yeah, PL with Dazzle, I like
Yeah.
that. They have the opportunity to go aggro too with a PL. They could throw, PL Dazzle up there. They'd be just fine. Then Tusk can kind of rotate between, the off lane and the mid, and then throw Furion in a safe lane where he's going to get some farm and experience. But Spear Breaker.
That's
Alliances turn
there are a
to
lack
hit.
of disables right now in Alliance. I mean, Tusk is the only one really.
This is rapidly becoming a pretty difficult Nature's Prophet game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fan of PL. Like I like PL. You pick PL, ban Ember Spirit, and then
Do Empire even play Ember?
I don't know.
But I mean, you would do it anyway.
I've
I
seen
guess.
like No-Tail playing in PL all the time, and I just see nobody banning Ember Spirit. And whenever I ask my
10
team about PL, they're like, "Is Ember banned?" They're like, no, and like, okay, unplayable. Like, at TI, like Fear was like, or not TI, but
Turn to
when
ban.
PL was relevant again, like that was the one hero. Like if we wanted to pick PL, Ember had to be out of the pool.
Yeah.
It's so hard to play PL once Ember gets.
It's like
into
on
battle.
demand. The illusions are dead every 6 seconds. You know,
Exactly.
once
Your
like
illusions are useless, and your hero takes so much damage.
yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
The combination of your Wind Ranger and Wraith King is still in the pool, by the way.
Oh yeah.
5 seconds
Still on par for that.
Wraith King.
In the sense that
It's
Empire are going to
interesting.
want to
Against
fight a
Viper?
lot, Wraith King
Yeah,
could be a
it's
bit-
rough against Viper. It's pretty good against Bane. It's pretty okay against Spearbreaker as well.
Turn to ban.
Or the Night Stalker, it's, you know, it's a wash, it's whatever. Not awesome against Viper, but can be fine.
How about carry a Batten?
Carry a Batten.
Well, offlane to bed.
10 seconds
No,
remaining.
no carry a Batten this game.
Abaddon is actually a
That being
really
said,
good
they-
pick against Empire, but they
S4
don't
might
have a carry.
play. I bet S4 is playing the Wind Ranger, but I would expect something very spacey to be picked up last year. They already have Furion and Wind Ranger cores, along with the Dazzle Weave or some.
Spectre?
No, I
like
think
as in, like
more like
tanker.
yeah, more aggressive. Something
Okay,
with
okay, okay.
with a stun or
Sven.
yeah, Sven.
But is he also not going to have issues with Viper cutting him around?
Yeah.
I think this is a hard spin.
And Bane. Ugh. Not great.
I
I
mean,
just
if you,
think they don't need another carry. Like Wind Ranger Furion is enough carry.
I'm trying to think.
Well, then the Ember can
Think,
still work out.
Panda. I mean, maybe Loda plays Wind Ranger. I'm not sure, but Panda could be really good for Alliance. They need some team fight, I think.
Team Empire.
Everybody plays Wind
Turn
Ranger.
to pick.
Everybody. Plays
Almost
Wind
everybody.
Ranger? Okay. Yeah, I'm sure Loda can play it.
Yeah, I think so.
since Shackle Shot went from being like a 10-degree ability to a 35-degree ability in Dota 2, it's a lot easier.
It actually...
It makes no sense.
It's actually so much different from Dota 1. It's
And the
one of the
ra-
most different heroes in the pool.
The range is just so much bigger, so
10 seconds remaining.
could they do a support Wind Ranger actually?
5 seconds remaining.
And Core Tusk,
Yeah.
I think they're pretty committed to Bulldog playing Furion and then
Yeah.
Nuts playing
Reserve
Tusk.
they
time.
have.
10
Although I
seconds remaining.
do remember Loda playing some Tusk back in the
Yeah,
day.
back way when.
They did like
with,
Tusk.
with IO Treant.
Yeah, IO Tree and Tusk.
Yeah, I remember.
All right. Yeah, that was.
Oh, the preemptive Ember.
Yeah.
Empire are going to pick it up. Maybe they were anticipating the PL coming out here from Alliance.
PL would have been good. Not anymore though.
Whatever, just Centaur, Loda, let's go. Come on.
Yeah, Centaur.
Yeah.
Centaur could be. Oh,
Also got
it's
it.
a
Oh!
Ranger.
All right, all right.
Against
Okay.
Spearbreaker, Night Stalker,
Curveball.
That's a very ballsy pick. Which draft do you favor?
Empires.
Spearbreaker's been a pretty controversial hero. I'm not sure how good that hero is. I see a lot of teams picking him up, and he looks good on paper, but he just seems to never work out.
Would you then say that Alliance has a better draft here?
It all depends on how Drow does. Drow gets, free farm in his lane, early level 6. I think they're in a good spot, but
Drow Wind Ranger is super good too.
if Silent's able to farm up early, get his bottle, get his level 6, start roaming around, he can do a lot of work.
How often is it Drow's ultimate updates? Is it like every second with the search range for is anyone within range to break it? How often does that?
What do you mean?
So if you're
I
close
think
to
it's,
Drow, she
I
loses
think it's
her
like
ult,
all
right?
the time, yeah. It, like,
It's constant.
It's constant, yeah.
Okay.
It is time to find out if Alliance is perhaps leaving the Aces RG Dream League without getting a single win here on LAN, or if they can force out a third game here against Team Empire. OD Pixel and Luminous, take it away.
Indeed, thank you very much. We're back here on the casting panel. It's myself, and we're getting ourselves straight in because there's a little bit of action. And the shards were dropped. We did actually have a smoke up from Empire straight up as they were looking to fight. And they weren't quite able to find anything. They are still sticking around for if they can find a Nightmare, they'd love to go. Although Ardant's desperately trying to move forward, and it's not going to be able to get it in. So Empire will back up. But anyway, Lumi, Alliance versus Empire, game 2. The Drow Ranger, is this the game for the Drow?
I don't think it is, but you know.
S4? I mean,
S4
S4's
knows
coming
better.
back around it. They know that they're there. There's the Nightmare. Doesn't really work there with the charge. S4's kind of trapped in the midst of it all. Nuts trying to move in, but S4 is going to give up the first blood there. Bane will try and get himself around the tree line. Is going to be able to make it. And Alliance might lose Nuts as well. The slow from Resolution coming in. Nuts trying to get himself away. Alliance desperately trying to find a kill in return, but they might give up 2 here. The heal comes through. It's not going to be enough to save Nuts. 2 down on the side of Alliance. And not the start that Alliance were hoping for there, as Resolution will be able to get himself the bounty rune as well.
Not like this, man. I like
And
this.
Silent got the so Silent get 2 kills and 2 bounty runes. I don't think you're starting a game any better than that, Lumi.
Yep. Great advantage. I mean, the thing that Cinderwin was talking about is win the laning stage. Drow Ranger, a decent laner, because of the plus damage you give to everybody, as well as Windrunner mid, but giving away so many kills and so many runes kind of nullify any laning advantage that you could have had. Top lane charge, not going to complete, but hey, make him scared a little bit.
Right, just keeping Bulldog on the edge here. I mean, talking about the lanes, the matchups that we've got, I mean, what can we expect to see from both sides? Anyone coming out on top in terms of this laning stage?
Right now, they just don't have an answer for a Spirit Breaker charge, right? He could just charge him without impunity to the Prophet every day, all day, every day. He could charge the Drow Ranger as well. So I feel depending how the Spirit Breaker plays, he could just put a ton of pressure in conjunction with the Bane that they already have. Funnick, I imagine, might have a tougher time if the supports rotate away, but never mind. He's got the Pro Man shield. He's just actually like tanking everything, and he doesn't really care.
Just Funnick and Aloha contesting this pull through that Nuts and Ake are trying to get off. I'll be able to take a few of the CS from it as well by the looks of it. So this aggression from Empire working out very nicely with this dual lane. But at the same time, there's space being given here to Loader on this Drow Rangers. He will be able to CS up and not have to worry too much about these supports, just well, focusing on trying to disrupt the pull. Oh, Nuts and Ake still kind of teasing with them. Funnick's going to drop down the Void. Loader's
Shards
now come in.
Shards could be big
They
here.
might be able to get a kill here. They'll drop the Nightmare down onto Nuts. Funnick actually moving into Loader with the Void. And Alliance might be able to come out on top of it. Ake's going to go down. Bit of a mess here, but this could be 2 for Alliance. They'll find the Bane. Funnick, he's going to have mana for the Void in a few seconds, but he's got to get himself
Shards
away, and Alliance will get the kills. And they kind of hold off on that one. Let it go to Loader. But okay, that's what they needed. A couple of kills there that Loader gets himself involved in. Picks up one for himself.
So that's a bit of slight miscommunication by the side of Alliance, because Loda was hitting on the Bane, or sorry, hitting on the Night Stalker at the beginning of the fight, and then they switched over to Bane, and that kind of 2-3 seconds of right click missing got their Dazzle killed in the first place. So even though they got 2 kills on Loda, it could have been a lot cleaner for Alliance. But still, advantage going back on the side of Alliance, at least on the bottom lane. Mid lane matchup here, CS-wise, you do see the Windrunner pulling slightly ahead, but I imagine the lane's going to be a wash. I don't know, Viper has been doing very well so far in this tournament, just getting really fat and
Yeah, we've seen a lot of good Viper performances.
unable to be
That's for
killed.
sure.
But this is the one game where I think Viper might have a tougher time. Bottom lane here, another shards. Nice tango out, but the snowball's going to go
Snowball.
in.
Let's see if they can get it. They're moving on to Bane. Bane will turn around with the brain. Sap puts the Nightmare onto Loader. Bulldog's coming as well. And Loader's trying to walk this one off to the left, but Nuts and Ake chase him down.
Oh,
Should basically
deny.
quickly get the deny. No,
No.
he can't. Ake will get the kill onto Aloha Dance. And Bulldog will simply TP back out. Funnick's going to be able to keep himself safe. But again, another kill for Alliance, and bringing it to 3 for 3 on the board.
Yeah, the Frost era really kind of going to work here for Loda. I imagine this game is going to be one of the few games where Viper will die, because there's so much range right-click damage coming out, especially through that focus fire. If S4 has good enough farm, I think the Viper can get killed. You don't have any great defensive spell like, Grave, for example, or Co-Embrace that we normally see in a lot of the other
Lower
games.
Dance, again, coming out just a little bit too far. Potentially the Gust comes out from Loader, silencing up
Great
both
shards.
the Bane and the Night Stalker. The shards are out. He'll Nightmare himself, maybe hoping for some kind of deny, but it's not going to happen. They'll find themselves the kill. Ake graves himself up. They're just kiting around Funnick. Funnick will try and move in. Can he get himself the kill?
Oh, the
Ake with the
juice.
juice, but the Void comes through. Funnick will find the return kill. Now he's trying to get himself out, but again,
Those
Nuts with the
shards.
shards, holding him in. Funnick will pop the stick charges, but the snowballs there. The right clicks from Loader, are they going to be enough?
Loader's out
He's
of
actually
mana.
out of mana, doesn't have enough for the slow. 6 seconds until the arcane boots are up on Nuts.
Given the fact that there's so much fights going on, a power shot barely clips him. I'm surprised that Spirit Breaker is only charging to the bottom lane now, because imagine there's a fight where Spirit Breaker is just on the Drow Ranger. I don't think Loda's going to be able to output so many Frost Arrows. So I feel like Empire could have played the bottom lane much better than they have, but the game now is evened up at 4-4. Ember, though, is free farming.
He's
on
getting
top
a lot
lane.
of farm. You
Yeah.
compare his farm to Loader. Yes, Loader's been involved in maybe more kills, but yeah, 31 CS at the moment on this Ember Spirit. Silent's going to be very happy with the lane that he's been given, having no issues with trying to lane against this Nature's Prophet. And as you were saying earlier, Resolution still with the edge in this mid lane on the Viper.
Yeah, but you can see, Owen, why that Alliance really want to pick that Tusk early.
Gust
Nice
from Loader will cancel
He's
the
gonna
charge.
get blocked.
Funnick. He's
Oh,
looking
no.
for the
Oh,
body
the
block.
creeps.
The creeps. Oh,
Please,
no.
creeps.
Okay, yeah, but
Great
Bulldog
sprout.
actually able to push him out with a sprout. Saving Loader. Loader trying to turn with the right clicks, getting this onto Funnick.
They'll back out. Mid lane looks
Mid
like
lane. Okay, Ake went in with the help of Nuts and S4. They got themselves the kill. Win Ranger with the double damage.
Yeah.
Do lose Dazzle for it, but we've already been talking about how well the Viper's doing, so I think Alliance will be happy with that one.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, you can see why they prioritize the Tusk so much in the drafting stage. I mean, Nuts so far has been really setting up multiple kills with those great placement of shards. It feels like when they have this hero, they have the early game more on lockdown. They're able to look for picks. They're able to really fight, despite against Bane and Spiritbreaker. These are normally the heroes that win the early laning stage. Nuts says, I don't care. I'm on the Tusk.
He's been doing a lot of work indeed. No fear. He's going to get himself around this as Nuts was backing up onto this bottom lane and is being followed by S4. So if Nuts spots someone out here, could be in trouble. Funnick. He's playing it safe. The pings come out. They know that S4's made his way all the way down to this bottom lane. And we're actually going to see Loader now come into the mid. No fear still hanging around on the Spirit Breaker on Loader. Well, we'll see if they're able to do anything, Empire. Interesting to see if Resolution can make his move over. He does have level 7. He's got the Viper Strike. The pings are coming out onto Loader. They know he's there in his Resolution, moving around. But Loader, he's going to play it safe, keep it cool, and actually just going to back up by this tier 2. Or whether they may be looking for him elsewhere. Funnick just forcing S4 right back. So a bit of an interesting swap of the lanes here. So S4 coming away from mid and trying to give Loader some space here. So he can get that level 6 online.
Yeah, the big problem is that Prophet has been taking the space on the bottom lane. And there's nobody contesting Ember up top. Bottom lane, it looks like they're going to try to make it on Admiral Bulldog. The charge is going to come in right now here. Admiral Bulldog will have Brave backing him up, and Shackle Shot does hit on
S4
two.
might be able to turn it,
They
but
don't have enough
look,
damage.
Silence coming on the Ember Spirit. This could be the turnaround. They were going to move in with the Flame God as well. Bulldog ticking low. Viper Strike comes out. They found 2 Empire. They're trying to move in for more. Nuts and S4 retreating into the tree line. 4 on the side of Empire, closing forward. They'll charge forward. They get the bashes onto S4. They'll also find the kill onto Nuts. Double kill for Bane. And a really nice fight for Empire. And we've talked about Silent before, how active this man could be. And he manages to get himself involved in all 4 of those kills. They're getting 4 assists from that rotation.
This is why the panel didn't really prefer Alliance's draft, because when they do the run at you strat, what do you actually do as Drow Ranger and Prophet? These are some of the squishiest hero that you could pick in Dota. So I don't know exactly what the plan is for Alliance, but they gotta dig deep, because Spirit Breaker will never stop charging at you.
And a similar situation as well to the first game with the net worth. The individual heroes, the 3 highest, are all on the side of Empire. It is still fairly close, and it is early days, just 8 minutes in.
Unfortunately for Alliance, they don't have that big team fight that they could have leaned back on. I mean, last game they had the Static Storm, they had the Phoenix ult, they had the Shadow Fiend mech and ult. What do you actually have for this game for team fight, as you start losing these tier 1 towers and they just keep running at you?
Oh, Silent with this invis. If he finds Loader, that would be a very nice pick off here for the man. Loader. He's aware that something may be going down. Silent. Can you find anyone? Loader? No, Silent says you're going to look towards the mid. Might go for the easy kill on Ake. Things are coming out. Rest of Empire moving in. Loader staying around by the camp. And yeah, they'll go for Ake. Straight in. They'll pop the grave. There's a charge coming through as well.
They got Gus.
Yeah, Ake's gone. There's no way he lives through this one. And he'll go down. Ember Spirit taking yet another kill. Silent. Really making this hero work this game. No fear. The tree line, there'll be a TP towards them in from S4. They might try and fight, but Empire is so ready to fight. And they're so ready to go. The charge, bashing for onto 3. The chains are there. They will get out the snowball, picking up S4, but the void there with the slow. S4 gets silenced up as well. That's getting bashed up. Can they look for anything more? No one to drop. Yeah, on the side of Alliance. The shards now coming out, but Silent Remnants away. Empire taking a power shot, but they charge back onto Nuts. Void as well. Resolution pops the buckler. Empire just getting themselves back up to the high ground. They're going to go back in on this one. The shards fly out. Oh, that's a nice shard. Trapping up 3. They'll have to go for the long way around. Actually, no, they can still get the range onto Nuts. Nuts gets healed up. There's the Nightmare onto Bulldog. No fear getting incredibly low, but he'll be able to get himself out just in time. There's the Remnant back in. Silence ready to go. Going in with the Flame Guard. The damage is too much. Loader's ticking down. And Loader being healed up. Will he go down? He will. They'll find 2. They get Nuts as well on the Tusk. And the Empire trying to move forward for more. Chains are up. If he can close in onto Bulldog, he should be able to get this one. Bulldog trying to get himself around, but the chains are indeed there. He'll get healed up, but Ake's got to run. There's no shallow grave available. Bulldog drops as well. And again, Empire just outplaying the side of Alliance in these engagements. Silent will go down. S4 with the TZ finds a big kill in return. And if they could find the Bane as well. Oh, Bane with the brain sap. He might pay with his life though. Nuts is there with the snow. Okay, so Alliance do manage to rectify it a little bit with 2 kills off the back.
But that's off a double damage by S4. I don't know where he's getting these runes, but it's really saving them. Unfortunately, again, for Team Alliances, their hero's just not good for fights like that. They don't have good disengage. They don't really have good catch either. The only reason they're actually getting any kills, again, is off the Tusk. And you cannot expect your Tusk to keep hitting those eye shards after eye shards after eye shards. Top lane looks like we're going to see a little bit of teleport in, but
they're ready to go. Oh, they're trying to go for the shackle, but S4 is going to whiff it. There's a charge still coming front to Bulldog. Bulldog in so much trouble. He'll go down. Let's see if they can move forward for more. They get the Nightmare onto S4. S4 could potentially be in trouble. 2 seconds until the chains. He's going to try and get himself away with the Wind Rubber Silent. He gets the chains onto S4 and Loader. S4 getting low. They will use the Shallow Grip to keep S4 alive. They'll turn around the power shot, but they've already lost Loader. The Brain Sap's there to finish him off. S4's going to go down as well. And the charge onto Ake. They're not done yet, Empire. They want to find more, and they're going to get the Dazzle. Double kill for Resolution. And this time, Alliance won't be finding anything in return.
Okay.
They might even be losing more. Nuts
Nice
tries
play.
to snowball himself away, looking for the TP out, but the Void's there. They'll end up losing 4 in quick succession. Alliance and Empire are certainly turning up this series and looking to go for another very convincing performance here in Game 2.
I don't know, man. Alliance, they don't have a fighting lineup, but yet they're choosing to fight non-stop. And granted, it's Empire taking the fight to them, but I think right now, if you're Alliance, you got to dig deep, avoid these fights as best as you can. It's hard to do it against Night Stalker and Spirit Breaker, but it must be done or this game is completely over. The best fighting hero they have is the Tusk and Wind Ranger. Maybe these 2 heroes just pair up and start, you know, playing like a counter ganking party, or maybe start to gank on their own. But for the most part, they need key items, they need key levels, and they just have no space from Team Empire.
They certainly need something. Looking at the Ember Spirit, yeah, that's going to be what the Boots of Travel now done. As he gets the recipe sent out, so Silent's going to be able to be even more active around the map. Not that he hasn't been already. He's been involved in 11 of the 19 kills. At 12 minutes in, very active on the Ember, which is exactly what Empire need, and exactly why I felt that in the draft that this hero was absolutely perfect for Empire's playstyle.
Yeah. I recall I was saying something that Viper might die this game. He probably won't die for the next 10 minutes unless he completely overextends. Given the fact that he has a magic wand and a mech finish now, you will just run an Alliance and he will be immortal.
Alliance are grouped up behind this tier 1. Can they try and fight? We've already seen so far how the fights have just not been working for them. Fortification will come out, but Empire, they'll persist, and they'll look to try and get the last hit on this tower. And there's going to be a charge from the sidelines. Funny comes in as well, with the Void onto Loader. Loader's going to be the first to fall, and he will drop. That's your Drow Ranger down. S4 getting caught out. There'll be a Shallow Grave buying him some time. He gets out a power shot, but that's going to be that. S4's going to fall as well. 2 down on Alliance. Ake getting dove by Empire. They dive past the tier 2. They dive past the tier 3, and they're not done yet. Nuts tried for the TP out, but the chains was there. He has got a snowball, but Empire having no mercy this game. Wishing to try and break down Alliance, and they're certainly doing it so far. Nuts will fall, and again, another 4-for-0 trade favoring Empire as the scoreboard now sits 23-7 at just 14 minutes, Lumi.
Alliance is not back. Not yet.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Doesn't feel
Maybe
like
next rematch.
It's not looking great for them. Not at all. The net worth for these heroes, Viper, as you said, is so stacked. 7k at the moment. The tier 2 now dropping in the mid lane. Empire, they're going to back up. We're going to see Silent just head up to the top lane. Get that push out. Bulldog himself was trying to find some space up here.
Okay, he's got the mech finish. All right, that's a little bit of something for fights.
Roshan is up. Empire, I guess they don't really have the best lineup to take it, so I don't know if they'll look towards that yet. But yeah, as you said, the mech on the Nature's Prophet is going to be something to add to these fights, but we've already just seen how much Alliance are struggling to actually go against Empire's line. And when you look at the heroes, I guess it's no surprise. Empire's heroes are so much better suited to doing what they're trying to do at this point of the game.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if Loda is playing some sort of early fighting core, like a Gyrocopter or Juggernaut, something that could be a little bit more impactful in these fights. Sure, the Drow Ranger was able to pick up, 2-3 kills in the laning stage, but
Look at this. Is he going to commit to this one? No, he's not. He's not. No fear. Just with the charge. And here we go, the tier 2 on the bottom lane. Empire starting to push. Alliance, have they got an answer? And it doesn't look like they have for this one. Empire will still stay strong here. Silent. 1,300 gold now built up on this Ember Spirit. Bulldog desperately trying to push top. Loader's there as well. That's going to be a charge targeted on Bulldog, and he's going to TP himself straight back to the base. But Alliance, they need a huge game plan here to turn this one, Lumi.
I think if they could last long enough till Ag Scepter, maybe on Prophet, maybe you could just draw the game out, but
it's a long way away.
Yeah, that's
it's a little bit of a pipe dream.
Oh, sometimes you gotta dream, right?
Oh, it's going to be up to Alliance to try and make their dream a reality here. And Empire are, of course, going to be there waiting to stop it and make sure that the nightmare for Alliance is real.
Actually, never mind about the Ag Scepter, because Bulldog's looking to fight with the.
Okay, getting the Vlad
the Orchid
Night
setup.
Stalker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
okay, they get the Shackle onto No Fear. But again, this is just holding back at the side of Empire. They may be able to control them a little bit. The Shards have blocked No Fear out, but they just can't throw themselves in at this lineup as Empire find the space for the tier 2.
Empire is playing really calm and collected right now. Because again, the only way they lose is, diving into tier 4 towers.
Bulldog, he is so dead. There's chains on him, a charge for as well. He'll pop the mech, but the bash is coming out into the Nether Strike for No Fear. Bulldog will fall. Silent now on a killing spree on this Ember Spirit. More money into the bank of the Fiery Boy. It's 2.5k gold now picked up on top of the boosted travel.
The other thing that we haven't really been mentioning is, apart from getting a Shackle Shot on Silent, there's actually no way for them to lock him down. So Silent is just not dying at this point on.
The smoke up here from Alliance. Resolution's actually farming very aggressively here, and this could be a free kill with a Shackle Shot.
Right.
Resolution.
Maybe.
The mech. Oh, is he going to live here? Oh, he is. The Glimmer Cave's there. They can't kill Resolution. Even though it looks like they pretty much caught him on their own. There was the time for the rest of Empire to turn up. S4 goes down. Nuts is going to fall as well as Resolution gets a double kill. They ram them forward. The charge is there onto Loader. They'll pick up the Drow kill, and GG's called. Alliance are out of the LAN, and Empire take the series 2-0. A little bit of a disheartening performance there from Alliance, but we can't take away from the fact that Empire just played very, very well, Looney.
I mean, the draft just really did not favor what Alliance wanted to do. I think they expected a lot more of the laning stage, but Spearbreaker and Night Stalker just was so much meaty hero up in the front that they just can't deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, Alliance, they went for that range strat, they went for the Drow Ranger, but it's always going to be a bit of a risk trying that against these CIS sides like Empire. Say, all right, we're just going to pick a Spirit Breaker and a Night Stalker and run straight at your face.
I mean, if you have, like, let's say a Visage, a very common partner with a Drow Ranger, at least Visage gave you some burst power. When they ran at you, you could have, burst them down. But that lineup also didn't really have any burst. They had Tusk and Power Shot. That's pretty much it. At the rest, you're looking at Prophet right-click, Drow Ranger right-click. That's not killing anybody quickly enough.
Well, indeed. And Empire, congratulations to them. They take the series 2-0. They're going to be very happy with that performance. 28-7 in a matter of 17 minutes. That was classic Empire for you guys at home and here at the venue. But that's it for the series. We're going to head straight back over to the panel to hear what they have to say about the result from Alliance versus Empire.
We're gonna go home early today. Boom, 17-minute game. Easy. It looked easy. They made it look easy. How did they make it look so easy to beat Alliance?
They had a, what do you call it? Face rush lineup, I guess?
Yeah.
Just in your face, Night Stalker, Spirit Breaker.